James Hamilton for MMA UK, joined via Skype by Eryk Anders. Thanks for joining us, Eryk, giving us some time today.
Hey, my pleasure, brother. Thank you for having me.
And just for anyone watching, obviously, Eryk's got a big fight coming up on UFC and ESPN 3. That's the 29th of June, and that's against Vinicius Moreira. I hope I've not murdered his name too much.
Sounds about right.
So we're getting close, and it's a relatively quick turnaround for you. Obviously, you competed back in April. I believe that was the 13th of April against Khalil Roundtree.
That's right.
So how is that with the quick turnaround? Is that something you wanted to get back in there as quickly as possible?
Man, I'm looking to fight as much as and as often as possible. So, man, they called me like a week after the fight and asked me if I wanted to fight Vinicius, and I said send the contract.
Perfect. And obviously you've made the move up to light heavyweight. How was that going back to the Khalil fight, just not having to cut that extra 20 pounds, and how did you feel stepping in the cage going in at 205?
Man, there's a lot of things that I'm doing different for this camp that I did for the other camp. Just from the dietary standpoint, I just felt like at fighting at 205, I could eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. One wasn't on the same strength and conditioning program that I'm on now, so I'm not eating like I'm cutting to 185, but at the same time, I'm eating a lot healthier. I can just eat more and lifting more and really improve the strength and conditioning aspect.
Yeah, and the other thing, obviously, throughout your camp, you've not got in the back of your mind that you've got that cut at the end of it. Does that almost give you more energy through your training, that you don't need to worry about that at the end, such a big cut leading into the fight?
Man, to be honest, I think that I think that I'm more prepared mentally to fight at 185, and I fight better at 185 because it's always on my mind. Whether it's the actual fight itself or, cutting weight or something, like I'm always thinking about it. I never take a break from it. Versus when I'm fighting at 205, I don't think about it as much when outside of the gym because, man, I don't always have that hunger or, I'd be like, man, I want to eat this, but I can't because I'm cutting weight to 185 or whatever. So it's just always in the back of my mind. So I think that my mental focus is better at 185 than 205.
Yeah, and just something you've said there, it's something I've heard Donald Cerrone speak about in the past, that he didn't feel as focused at welterweight, whereas at lightweight he has to be dialed in, especially with the diet and everything has to be on point. So would you say that's applies to yourself as well?
Yeah, absolutely. When I'm cutting to 185, I have to eat at this time. I have to eat this at this time. I eat this before I train. I eat this after I train. And so, it's just around the clock, constantly on my mind and thinking about it versus, when I'm sitting down watching the movie, it's not in the back of my head when I'm fighting at 205.
Yeah. So then what was it that sort of made you go to 205? What made you make that change?
Man, they called me for short notice to fight Thiago Santos at 205, and that was a barn burner. And at the time, there really weren't a whole lot of the 205 the 205 division recently has kind of made a resurgence. There really weren't a whole lot of 205ers making noise when they asked me to do it last year. But I think it's a division that they certainly built up since then. So I think that I can happily go back to 185.
Yeah, and as you're saying there, one of the gentlemen you fought, he seems to have been part of that resurgence at 205, Thiago Santos. So is that something you're looking to do then? Are you possibly looking to fight between both divisions when the opportunities come?
Yeah, whenever they call, I answer. I sign the contract, so whether they call me for a 205 fight or a middleweight fight, as long as I have enough time to make 185 properly so that I can fight my best, and I'm down to fight at 85. But if they call me for a 205 fight, I'm cool with that too.
Yeah, and just to go back to your last fight a wee bit with Khalil, were you surprised in there? Because I think a lot of people were surprised with Khalil when he stepped in the cage, because he looked like a different fighter than he had in the past. Was that something that surprised you?
Yeah, he definitely came out a different fighter. But aside from the technique, I think that the thing that he improved the most on was the mental aspect of his game. I think that he's always had the physical tools. but maybe lacked a little bit in the mental fortitude part. Certainly was not the case when we fought. He came out, just on fire. So, I think that he's made the right choices, the right decisions as far as like training and mental preparation goes.
Yeah, and obviously just moving on to your next opponent, Vinicius. He's someone that came through the Dana White's Contender Series over in Brazil, made his debut, unfortunately lost his debut, and now he will be stepping in against you. Your experience level and the level you've been fighting at is obviously higher than Vinicius. Do you feel that's something that will play a part in the fight?
Yeah, absolutely. I've definitely fought higher caliber guys, and my confidence is unwavering. And man, I think I'm just going to go in there and impose my will and get that first round knockout.
Yeah, and coming into the fight, is there any added pressure on it? Obviously, coming off a few losses, there is always that looming pressure from the UFC. Is that something you're thinking about at all, or is that something you just put in the back of your mind?
Man, I really don't feel any pressure. I've been fortunate enough to have made enough money to make enough residual income that if I get cut, I've still got enough residual income to live comfortably, me and my family. So. Man, I can just go out there with no pressure, fight, and obviously I want to win, man. I hate losing more than I like winning. I feel like winning is expected with the amount of work that I put in. So, but man, I fight worry free. So, I'm gonna go out there and like I said, impose my will and do what I do.
Do you think having that as well helps you perform better when you get in there, Eryk? Not having that pressure there, like you say, you fight worry free. Is that something that helps you going into the cage?
Man, I think the bigger the pressure situation, the better I perform.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, I want to go in there loose, relax, and just go out there and have fun.
Yeah, perfect. And just last thing I wanted to ask you about was just about your athletic background before. You've obviously got a background in American football as well, so you're used to that pressure. Is that something you can use, that experience you've had, you can use that going forward in the cage, that helps you as well?
Man, performing under the big lights and pressure situations and things like that has definitely helped shape and prepare the way that I fight and prepare for a fight. So there is no scenario that's too big. There is no venue that's too, too loud or too noisy or, So I just think that mentally I'm prepared to go anywhere and fight anybody.
Excellent. And just we'll end on this, just a couple more questions for you. We're obviously pretty close to the fight now, so it's on the 29th. So with regards to training camp now, do you start tapering down your training camp in terms of your sparring, and when is it just you move away from sparring and maybe just focusing on the technical aspect and maybe game planning as well?
Man, I'm always focused on the technical part, and the game plan gets put in play and adjusted and tweaked and played with all through, leading up to the fight. So, man, I like to taper down the intensity the week before the fight, and man, the week of the fight, man, I may do some yoga in the morning, and work out, once a day. Maybe go for a jog on the treadmill or something like that. So I do almost, little to nothing on fight week.
Yeah, do you feel as well for fighters, or yourself more specifically, going into that fight week, all the hard work is done and you've got the confidence to know that you can just take it a wee bit more easy in that last week and just get yourself ready to step in the cage?
Yeah, that last week, the fight week, we're just dialing in the timing. I'm not tired from like a strength and conditioning session. I'm not tired from like the day before or the workout before or whatever. So, man, I just do that one workout, that one hard workout a day. Just to, keep the snap and the pop on my punches, and to keep the accuracy on point and dialed in and smooth sailing.
Perfect. Well, listen, Eryk, thanks very much for giving us some time. That's all we've got for you. Just again to reiterate, Eryk will be fighting on the 29th of June. That's in Minneapolis. And again, that's against Vinicius Marai. So again, thank you very much for the time, Eryk.
I appreciate you having me, brother.
No problem. Thank you, mate.
Later.
Right. Bye.